No, from beginning. And then just pause it, then I can start. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, we can start. Good morning, everybody. Today is third, right? So in last 2 days, whatever we discussed, is there any question, doubt, clarification, comment, feedback? Anyone? Are you sure? No questions, no comments, no feedback? All clear so far? Okay. So what we are going to do is, we will start with the video that we could not run it because of the audio issue, and now we have managed, so we can start with that. It's a brand resonance pyramid. Just watch this video. I told you the concept of brand resonance. It's a pyramid. As a brand manager, we start working at the bottom of this pyramid, and our goal is that our target audience finally reach this level, the resonance level, because at that level, then we will have the loyalty. Because customers then will not buy your product because of the price. Think about it. Sometimes we are loyal to a brand because it always has an offer, incentive, or this is the cheapest brand available in the market. Sometimes. But think about it. When that brand price changes, our offer is not valid, we switch. But that happens in situations where customer and brand, they don't resonate with each other. In the situation when brand and customers resonate with each other, when brand managers are successful to take the brand to the level of resonance, then we have what we call active intense loyalty. When we have active intense loyalty, it is not affected by simple factors such as price or promotional offers. People become insensitive to those offers. It's like this customer brand relationship is very much similar to relationships amongst human beings. So if you look at the personal psychology or human psychology research and human psychology books, they say that the long-lasting human relationship between two persons, maybe the friends, maybe they are the partners, maybe they are spouses, it happens under two conditions. One, there are constraints, right? That one party is dependent on the other party, has no choice. That is unconditional. Here also, remember a time when we had only one telephone service provider. Which one was that? BSNL, Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited, right? The brand, people did not resonate with that brand. Even today, many people do not resonate with the brand called BSNL. Agree? But, so that was conditional. I had no choice, so I had to depend on that. Similarly, if you remember, in good old days, women were not into the workforce in India. Everywhere in the world, but in India, it was until maybe 20 years ago, there were very little women in workforce. So they were socio-economically dependent on their male partner. So even if they didn't resonate with each other, they carried that marriage. The loyalty was carried. But think seriously, this loyalty was not intense active loyalty. Now you understand the meaning of intense active loyalty? They were married, they lived together. but the loyalty was not intense active loyalty. It was because of the social constraint, financial constraint, economic constraint, and so on. Exactly same is with the brands. Like BSNL, I told you, had a constraint. We may have other constraints, like I don't have enough money and I have to fulfill so many requirements. So I will be looking for the cheapest. And there is a brand that is cheapest. Okay? Let's, for example, a washing powder. Doodh Si Safedi, Nirma Se Aaye. Have you heard that? Maybe in Bengali the advertisement was different, I have no idea. But the Nirma advertisement, Nirma was a cheaper washing powder. Right? So people who didn't have money, they were very loyal to it. But the moment they had money, they moved out of Nirma. Correct? So in intense active loyalty, you don't switch. And this is where somebody asked me, I think yesterday or the previous day, I think you asked me, what happens when my loyal brand with which I resonate is not available? Correct? That is the heartbreak, because you resonate with somebody and that person is not available. Same feeling happens with the brand. Professor Susan Fournier, the brand marketing professor, brand management professor at Harvard Business School, has worked on this concept that I have been explaining, and the term that she has given to this concept is called brand customer relationship. And what she says, like we have human relationships, men-women relationships, structured, organized or unorganized relationships amongst the human beings, the brand and consumer relationships are absolutely analogous to that. That's the hypothesis that she developed and propagated and published the paper in Journal of Marketing, of course also in Harvard Business Review from practitioner's perspective, and that concept has been accepted very strongly, especially for consumer brands. Please remember, the branding, there are two aspects of branding. One is B2B branding, industrial branding, right? So when we talked about Salesforce, I don't know how many of you have visited the site. I will ask you a question one day about that. You remember Salesforce.com? There are certain companies which are very loyal to the Salesforce brand. That's an industrial brand, right? SAP is an industrial brand. If an organization buys HP computers all the time for the classroom, let's say university, for the classroom, for the lab, for faculty, for everybody. Now, this is the industrial brand that you are talking about. Same HP, when Sujit has bought it for himself, this is a consumer brand. What we are talking, branding has, now branding is applicable both industrial and consumer, but branding is more relevant and gets more value for the consumer brands. That's why the customer brand, because there is no other way to reach the consumers. In industrial setting, imagine this campus has, let us say, professors, students, all that put together. Let's say this campus has 10,000 population. And we say that the office will buy computers, students will buy computers through the official system. In some institutions, you know, it's part of your fee, you get the computer. So institution buys those computers. So 10,000 HP computers, if they have to buy, the HP sales team has to only meet the purchase team of an IT. Right? They don't have to meet 10,000 people. They don't need to build a relationship with 10,000 people. They only need to build a relationship with the purchase team. So there, we do not focus much on brand relationship. What we do there is called customer relationship. What our friend was talking, CRM. So we try to, yes, so customer relationship management is used more for industrial setting. And there, this company representatives, that is their sales force, their sales team, marketing team, top management, depending on the value of the business, and the distribution channel. These people have opportunity to interact with the purchase team of the organization, and that's why the branding and relationship strategies, methods, models and practices are different. For consumers like you and me, when we buy phone, we buy soap, we buy car, we buy computer, we buy drinks, coffee, anything we buy, it's not practically possible for company salespersons or their representative distributors to meet and develop relationship with each other. And this is why the brand replaces the sales team for consumers. So with consumers, it is the brand that builds the relationship. Is that clear? So now you understand why the branding is more relevant for the consumer markets. Okay? I'm not saying it is not relevant for industrial, but why it is more important for consumer markets. So, and consumer markets in terms of the size are huge, right? And this is why on the television, what advertisements do you see? On social media, what advertisements do you see? You see for consumers. So keeping that in mind, the concept of consumer brand relationship is developed by Professor Susan Fournier, a lady professor. Susan means a woman. So she developed that concept, and this Keller's model is mapped by Susan. So what Susan is saying, the relationships start here. It's like the most basic level is acquaintance. We met here, right? So this is the base level. This starting with this base level on the day one when we met. Our relationship can keep growing. Right? As I said, right now I'm a brand and you are the consumers consuming this brand of service. Right? And I'm putting efforts to build a relationship between my consumers and me as a brand. So, according to that Susan Fournier's brand customer relationship model, if I am successful in branding, then our relationship will reach here. What will it mean? Whether we meet again ever in life or not. But in your mind, you will have a strong position about me as a brand, and whenever you will get an opportunity, you would like to consume my services whenever possible. Right? Because you may not be here because you don't have alternate or options. Correct? Maybe before you came, you had no options, your professor told, so you came here, or somehow you got to know and you came for the program. But now, you have an option. What are the options? Instead of listening to me, you start working with your mobile phone, right? Or your computer, or something else, which you are not doing. Which I haven't seen. Today is the third day, I have not seen anybody sleeping, anybody using the distraction devices. You are listening. What it means is, right now you are moving in this direction where you have a choice. Now you have a choice whether you take my services or you take services from Professor AI, ChatGPT Professor ChatGPT, right? Or your friends on social media. But you are not getting into those alternatives. That is showing the loyalty. Correct? And as I said, eventually it may reach to the resonance level. So this concept is very important to understand. The customer brand relationship. We believe it or not, and all the concepts, brand personality, yesterday if you remember I was talking about brand personality, and I said I will do more detailed discussion on brand personality. All these concepts are based on, they are integrated basically. So this is why I am going to just run this video now But I think it is next session or a session after this, tomorrow or day after tomorrow, I'm going to bring you back to this. And that session is completely devoted only on this. And what I'm going to tell you in that session is how to practically implement it in industry. What are the things that I have to do? How do I know that my brand is here or here or here or here or here or here? So as I said, to have the highest brand equity, the brand should be here. If I have to have the brand here, where do I need to work? Where do I have weakness? That's only possible when we are able to do the measurement at each of these steps. And that measurement not at the macro level. Right now these are macro level. We have to do the measurement at the micro level. Then only we will know these are the steps we need to correct. Am I clear? So let's quickly watch this so that you get this concept and then we move to the other topic. So,
Hi, my name is Carmen Susan, and today I'm going to talk to you about brand equity, better known to us as FABSOL. This slide depicts the relationship that the customer has with the product and how brand equity is used to increase penetration.
These videos are below sound.
It describes the evolution of the consumer and their relationship with the company. Just like any pyramid, it starts with a broad base and builds up. If you flip to the left of the pyramid, you see questions that help you define
I think it's not able to hear, right?
words associated with
It's not audible? Okay. Then let's not waste the time. If it is not audible, let's not waste the time. Don't worry. We'll skip this. Right now, we'll try to figure out how do we make this happen. Okay? We'll try to figure it out. And yeah. You want to try again? It's okay, no problem. So, as I said, I have to repeat this the building blocks thing in one of the classes. So, we'll try to figure out what to do with that. And Sujit, you please try to bring your speaker, maybe that will work next time. Is it full screen or not yet?
Sir, this is a PDF. So that's
Oh, why we are in video? Oh, because you might have opened. Okay, so go to my and write. Okay, day 3.
this is the
Yes, yes, please. Okay, thank you. Sorry for this. I'm not sure why the audio here is less. As I said, in every other place, including NYU Classroom, I use this, and it is absolutely fine. So another alternative is you have the link, and the presentation is on Google Drive. So if you could please watch it tonight, means before tomorrow's class, then we can save this problem, because then we can discuss the rest of it. Is it possible for all of you to watch it on your phone or something? Because for your own purpose, I think you can manage to listen somehow, right? So please do that, and then when we meet to discuss the micro level, I don't need the video. You have already watched and heard, and then I'll be able to move forward. Is that okay? Thank you so much for your cooperation. Okay. Now, so let's now move to what we want to talk today. We talked about creating brand equity. We said that the most important thing for brand manager is to make the brand strong, and a strong brand means strong brand equity, and that is brand equity is synonymous to brand knowledge. Do you remember? And brand knowledge has 2 dimensions. What are those 2 dimensions? Very good. And brand image. Very good. Brand awareness and brand image. So, all brand managers, all brand agencies, they do only these, they work only on these 2 things. All branding is about, for brand equity, creating awareness and creating image. Now, awareness and image about what? About brand. So let's get deeper. We started from the macro level, funnel approach. Now let's get deeper. So, deeper means what is brand? Okay. Now, for some people, the brand may be very simple thing, and I think let me go back to asking you a question, everybody. What is brand in your mind? What do you think a brand is? It's a name. Just like that. Give me example, no definition. What is a brand? Is brand a name? So brand is a name. Okay. What else is brand?
Which defines the product, which tells about the product.
So it's a description. Okay. Okay. And that unique identity, how do you create? What does it consist of? Names, logo, two things. Okay. They have told two things about brand. So tagline, third point.
Brand is defined as the identity of the company
Mhm.
to make their product more informative in front of the customers.
Okay. So it's about information. But why it is about company? Some companies have many products and many brands. And those brands, many people do not worry about which company they come from. They focus only on the brand, and therefore people remember the brand. Like in the first class, I remembered Meswak, right? Because that is what they advertise. That's how they build the brand for Meswak. If they have built the brand as Dabur Meswak, then it would have been easier for me to remember that, right? But Dabur has so many brands. But they developed Meswak as a brand separately. Correct? So that's why it's not necessary that the company brand. In some cases it is a company brand. In some cases it is a product brand. Right? Okay? Iqbal, what is a brand? We have got so many. Name, logo, picture, description, tagline. So you have to tell me something else. Mhm. And what do they do for attracting customers? Mhm. Other than that, that's what I'm saying. Except what they mentioned, anything else? Okay, so they have a distinctive feature in their product. Okay.
So brand is something that gives value to the product.
Okay. So the value.
Yeah.
Very good. How about you, my friend? What do you think the brand is consist of?
The brand can provide an experience to the customer, which will be different from.
So experience. Okay.
So apart from them, it's a symbol.
Symbol. Very good. Very good. I was waiting to hear this. Excellent.
I
Neha.
was supposed to say the same.
So you say something else now. He has stolen your word. Now you say something else.
The good image.
Image. Image. Okay.
So comprising all these, and say it's a construct.
For you, it's a construct.
Yes.
Brand is a construct.
Like an abstract thing that is within our mind, customers.
An abstract within our mind. Okay.
So brand gives us social status.
So brand is linked to social status. Okay. Let me now come to the professors. What they think. What do you think a brand is?
So brand can be like everyone said, it has a meaning. Like even it can be a word also. Brand can be a word like see it, it's a word also. But I think brand is basically how a product is positioning itself in the minds of a consumer.
Okay.
I think that's a brand.
Okay. Ma'am, what do you think?
Our human body is like a product.
Mm-hmm.
Brand is a name that we have. And it
Yeah.
is a subliminal concept that we have in our mind.
Okay.
Maybe the sign also. What they left is sign.
Mhm.
Name, term, sign, symbol used to express, that is distinguish us from others. Especially
Okay.
to distinguish one from others. So that we can position from our competitors.
Okay.
And also to have our own status quo in the market.
Good. Now, let's, this is a video. Thank you for reminding me. I'm not using the correct glasses. That's why it is. Okay. I'm going back to the first days, some part of the session that I did not cover on first day. So I'm going back to that. Oh, enable. Huh? Oh, now it's going to something else. Your computer has a lot of automatic things. Okay, no problem. Okay, so let's get back. This is the question I raised. And we did discuss this part in the first class due to lack of time. So let me revisit some of this. You already had presentation, but I don't know if you had time to read it or not. So when I talk about what is a brand, there are two important concepts in the brand. One is understanding the brand elements. Brand is constituted by elements. Like human body is constituted by elements. What are those elements by which human body is made? No, my friend. क्षिति जल पावक गगन समीरा पंच तत्व से बना शरीरा. Did you understand what I said?
Yeah.
This is in our Vedas or Shastras. It's written 5 elements. We are made up of 5 elements. Chiti. What is chiti? No. That is chati. Chiti. Tell me what is chiti. Chiti means mitti, soil, earth.
Panchabhut.
So chit is earth, soil. Jal is joy, water. Pavak is fire. Agni, fire. Gagan means
Air.
no. Gagan is sky, space. We say you are affected by Saturn. Shani ka dasa. What is that? It's a solar system. Where is it? In the space, right? Remember? मंगल खराब है तुम्हारा या इसका मंगल बहुत अच्छा है. मंगल खराब है इसलिए ये गुस्सा करता है. करेक्ट? व्हाट इज मंगल?
Fire.
द मार्स. करेक्ट? गुरु की पूजा करवाओ, गुरु की पूजा करवाओ, बृहस्पति की पूजा करवाओ और तुम बृहस्पति का व्रत रखो तो सारी प्रॉस्पेरिटी आ जाए. व्हाट इज बृहस्पति? जुपिटर. सो think about it, our system, how scientific it was. We have forgotten that's a different thing. So 5 elements, we are made up of 5 elements. So if you ask, what is human body? Human body is nothing but 5 elements. Correct? And medically, when you are sick or anything happens, what is given to you? These minerals, these 5 elements are given to you. Oxygen is from air, right? Immediately in ICU they put you on oxygen. They test your sodium. They check your potassium. You remember these things? What are these? They come from soil. These are chemicals which are in your soil. अरे मिट्टी में फास्फोरस है, मिट्टी में नाइट्रोजन है, करेक्ट? सोडियम कहाँ से निकलता है? सी वाटर or hill mountains, Himalaya mountain, the pink salt comes from Himalaya mountain. So if you think about it seriously, and water, without water we can't do anything. Correct? and we have to have energy, fuel, consumption. If you eat the food, that has to be burned, right? That's the consumption process. So that is power. If you don't have, why do you drink hot products? That's a fire, right? You need fire for that. So that's why that is the heating part. Chit, jal, power. Gagan gave you the gases, like oxygen you need, right? So that's Gagan. Sorry, the Gagan gives you the sunlight, for example, the sun. What does sun give you? Vitamin D, correct? So you need sun, moon, the satellite, the solar system for your body. It is consists of that. And Samira is air. And that Samira, air means oxygen. So human body is made up of 5 elements. Similarly, brand is made up of elements. So when I ask you what is a brand, brand is made up of elements. Is that clear now? What is brand? Brand is a construct, like our good friend likes to use the word construct. So brand is a construct which is made up of elements. How many? That we will talk now. Now you will never forget. Simple example like body, human body is nothing, it's just 5 elements. That is why they say this body is made up of those 5 elements. After you are dead, what happens to this body? Those 5 elements go to those areas. When you die, you are burned. Carbon dioxide goes up in the air, right? Your ashes are finally part of the earth chitty, correct? Your body will have whatever liquid or juices, they are all burned, they are all gone. So if you think about it, 5 elements, go back to those 5 elements from where you are made. तभी बोलते हैं ना, ये शरीर मिट्टी का बना है, मिट्टी में मिल जाएगा. Now what I am trying to say is that we are made up, like we say, human body is constituted by 5 elements. Similarly, brands are constituted, or brands are made up of certain elements, not one element. When I was asking you people, you gave me the names of some elements. He said name, you said tagline, who said tagline? You said tagline, what did you say? Descriptions, he said, what did you say? Logo, he said, you said symbol, which I was waiting for, right? So now let's see, today's discussion is about brand elements, okay? And I said we are getting deeper. So I will skip this now, and this is, I have already explained you the difference between brand and versus product. So I will skip this now and go back to my other slide that we want to discuss today. This is the one. Okay. So now what? Now you see how we are getting deeper. We are going to talk about brand elements. Okay. Next important thing. Our body we cannot choose, especially when we are born. After that we can choose what we want. We want to become 500 pounds. 500 pounds means about 300 kg, right? Or we want to become Kareena Kapoor. So, when we talk about these elements, as I said, body we cannot choose when we are born. Later on we have some control to choose how we want our body, correct? Also these days there are medical systems by which you can make your lips like that, your cheeks like that, your eyes like that, all that systems exist now, right? Your teeth are not proper, you go to the doctor, he will take all of them out and put another set of beautiful teeth, right? You must have seen nose, you don't like this nose, they will make it like the parrot, peacock, whatever you like. So, you have some way to choose. But branding, we are happy people. Why? Because we can select these elements. But how do we select? There are selection criteria for brand elements. So we are now going to learn in the first part 2 things. Brand elements and the selection. Now I ask what are brands? You gave me some answer. I told you that some of them were very correct. And now you know why we are talking about those. So next question is, what are brand elements? And I asked example, we already finished that. Now, let's go and look at more information about brand. The brand elements are the key to creating a brand. Without elements, there is no, right? So it's a key. Elements are the key. So what we have to do now is we have to be able to choose. We should be, after this program, we should develop the ability to choose a name, logo, symbol. Your friend at the back talked about symbol. Package. You thought package is not a brand. Package is a brand. Package. What do we have here? Design. Then, what is this? Other characteristics that identify a product. We talked about the difference between brand and product. You remember, I took his pen and I said, pen is a product and Goldex was a brand. Correct? So Goldex was identifying this product made by a particular company. So this is the ability we should develop, first ability. Because we are going to make people aware of the brand. To make them aware of the brand, we have to have something. Because as you said, brand is in the minds of the customer. But what do you put in the minds of the customer? A pen, a toothpaste, or meswak, or Colgate? Not toothpaste. You want to put meswak or Colgate when people want to consume a toothpaste. They should think about meswak, they should think about Colgate. And when they think about it and go to retail store, a lot of us are in hurry. And many times what we do is, we just grab whatever it is by what is in our mind in terms of picture. So think about it. If you don't read it, and many times we don't read, you will feel it's Bisleri. Correct? Yesterday we talked about it. It's not Bisleri. It's not Bisleri at all. But it resembles with that. Not only color, like style, everything, the bottle size, the cap color. This is a big challenge for Bisleri. We'll talk a little later about it. Bisleri originally was not green. Do you know? The Bisleri original color was blue bottle. Not blue bottle, the blue color wrapper and the blue color cap. He remembers it. Correct? I think Professor, you may also remember. Ma'am? That original blue color thing?
Ocean color.
Yes, ocean color. And then it was changed to green. And I will explain you later why it's a part of another concept in branding. And then, now this is also copied. So, color is part of other characteristics that I said, right? So we have to create, we should be able to choose these in such a way that whatever company we are working for, that company's product can be identified. Are you clear now? And who will identify? Customers. Where he should be able to identify? When he is considering to buy something. When he or she is in the point of purchase. He should be able to clearly distinguish. Somebody said distinguishing characteristics. So he should be able to distinguishing features, somebody said. So distinguish and hold it. That distinguishing feature is a very important feedback he has said. But which feature? There could be many features. For example, packaging. And I'll give you example once we go to each of these. So, components components that identify and differentiate a brand are called brand elements. Brand is made up of certain components. Those components are what we call brand elements. So now you can say that brand is made up of various elements, correct? And what are those elements? You know them. Is this concept clear to you now? Now you are not talking like laypersons. You are not talking like people who don't understand branding. Now you know what brand is. And what is branding? Branding is a process of creating and establishing these in the minds of the people in such a way that these create resonance in the minds of the people. Understand? They create resonance in the minds of the people. Now, when I talk about resonance, this is even young children, very young children who have no understanding. They can't even speak well. I have a grandson, now he's 3-year-old. When he was 2-year-old, for playing, we used to give him toys. Same toy, let's say a car, comes in several colors, right? So we used to give him cars of several colors. But he used to always choose only green color cars. He will leave rest of them in the corner and play only with green color cars. What does it mean? The green color is the color that he seems to be liking. So that resonates in his mind. Understand? He cannot speak, but the color is resonating. This is why when we talk about the brands, we talked about this bottle, the Bisleri blue color versus Bisleri green color. You remember we talked about that? Is the color is also a very important element. About 25 years ago, I was consultant to an industrial product company called, is that chart? Yeah, okay. This is a company called Grind Well Norton. It's an industrial product company. Anybody knows what is this Grindwell Norton? Anybody has heard this company? It still exists, and it's I think European company or American company, I forget, but it is world leader in the product that it makes. So Grindwell Norton, nobody has heard about it because you don't work in industry. Have you seen, any of you have ever seen any factory where machining is done, like a metals is taken, it is cut, it is grinded, it is welded, those processes? Have you seen Neha in your factory,
Yes.
your father's factory?
Yes.
So when you do this, there is a machine called lathe machine. Anybody has heard? You must have heard, right? Lathe machine. In your first year, did you do the workshop practice or something where
They showed us.
they showed you the lathe machine, right? So in these machines, there is a grinding wheel. The wheel that is fitted on the shaft, and then when you press the button, the wheel starts, and whatever rough surface you have, that is grinding. Okay? There were two brands, I'm forgetting the name of the other company, but I remember the brand. So this Grindwell Norton brand was called Compass brand. They had, because they had many products for the manufacturing industry. These are used for the manufacturing industry, not service industry. So they used to have a compass brand, so which was like this, and I mean it is like a wheel, but the grinding wheel, and it gets fitted into the sack. Neha, you have that kind of thing in the factory? You did see that in your lab? So that is fitted in the sack, so it is always like a wheel, okay? But on the wheel, how do you do that industrial branding? So in the wheel, how will somebody identify that it's which brand of wheel? Because people had perception this brand of wheel works very well and as compared to some other brand of wheel. So this one was Compass brand. So Compass, as you know, has something like this, and then north, south, correct? So the wrapper that they had a yellow color wrapper. So this was yellow color. Not wrapper, sorry, what do you call the label, not the wrapper. So like you have here, this is a wrapper. You see this wrapper? So you call it wrapper, but later on I will tell you what it is called. This is the brand element. So this kind of thing was yellow color paper pasted on that wheel, and that paper was yellow color, and a compass was printed on it, the compass needle, and here it was written Compass manufactured by Grindwell Norton. Okay? So I was consultant to this company to help them increase their sale. Now, their competitor, and I am forgetting the name of competitor, also had a similar product. So there were only two leading competitors across the country. Okay. Now this fellow also had same kind of wheel, but what he did was he made red color sticker. That wrapper sticker was red color, and what he did was he made a picture like this. What is this? Huh? No, yeah, you said the right word, clock, right? So this was clock. Now clock was here, and no, 3 doesn't matter, it just represents the clock. And here it said that name of the brand, clock, from that company. And then what happens for people in small scale industries, the owner also was not very educated. Good old days, They knew how to do business, but they were not engineers, they were not very educated for many small scale companies. And usually they were called Seth. Seth is sitting in the cabin cooler. Those days cooler cabins were there. Air conditioning was not popular. Now they are replaced by air conditioner where the Seth's sons, their children are managing. So in that cooler office he is sitting, and the workers who were working on these machines, they were 100% illiterate. They had no education at all. Completely illiterate. They were trained, by practice, learning, by watching how to use these things. So this, depending on how much work you have, in one day you may need, depending on the size of your company, you may need anywhere from 5 to 50 of these grinders. 5 to 50. And what Seth will say in the morning, he will call, come Sangeet, here is money, wo dukaan chale jao. And these industrial shops, they will be somewhere in that area where the industrial estate is created. In India, for small scale companies, industrial estates were created. You will find one type of companies in one particular area, another type of companies another area, and all of them will be manufacturing the same thing. So similar products were kept in those one or two shops will be there, retail shops, where you can go and buy. So संगीत उसके यहाँ चले जाओ, लाला जी के यहाँ से लिखवा लेना means on credit. Okay, here in professional we say we sell on credit. We give you 30 days credit, 90 days credit, right? Your business. But that fellow will not use these terms. He will say लिखवा देना कि हम लाला जी के यहाँ से आए, सेठ जी के यहाँ से आए और 5 चक्का लेके आए. So they used to call wheel in most part of India, they call it chakka. In Bengal also you call it chakka? Chakka. Yeah, so actually it's a chakkar and that gets started at chakka like that, correct? So that fellow will say and go and say, जाके 5 चक्का ले आओ. मालिक कौन सा चक्का लाना है? सेठ जी कौन सा चक्का लाना है? So he will say घड़ी छाप. They can't read English, correct? घड़ी छाप लेकर के. Now for that illiterate, this is also a घड़ी. It's 6 o'clock, correct? This is also a घड़ी. 3 o'clock. So now that fellow is confused. So he asked, Seth ji, लाल वाली घड़ी कि पीली वाली घड़ी? You know लाल and पीली? Red and yellow. So लाल वाली घड़ी लाना है कि पीली वाली घड़ी लाना है? पीली घड़ी वाला चक्का, that means the grinder Norton was more expensive than this one. I think only 1 rupee difference. But those days 1 rupee, 25 years ago, 1 rupee difference was a big difference, especially when you are consuming large amount every day. For small scale companies, right? We are not talking about large scale companies. So now, these sales people, they will always go and tell these workers, the users, घड़ी वाला बहुत अच्छा है, ये पीला घड़ी का, ये लाल घड़ी का. And unfortunately, these non-educated workers cannot understand the difference between compass and the clock. Now, because the sale for this fellow was reducing because of the quality, so they only knew or what was quality for them? Performance quality, nothing else. कि एक चक्का कितनी देर चलता है? So अगर हम दिन में, if I am making 500 products, how many grinders chakka I need, right? So let us say they try, you know how small scale industry does, they try and they always buy in small volumes, उस दिन के लिए whatever is needed. What now we call a concept called JIT. Do you know JIT, just in time? Which means the supply that you should take should be just at the time, and by the time the factory work is done, everything produced should be out of factory and there should be no stock, no inventory in the factory. That's called just in time. Imagine people learn now in big companies and can't implement that Seth ji in a small scale industry was able to do that. And I have worked with a lot of these people as consultant. I am telling you, in this country, I have worked with small scale, you cannot imagine what kind of low level manufacturing companies, to of course establishing the big American company here, creating from scratch, business for them from scratch. So I have all that experience and across the country, except the eastern part of India I had little opportunity. I didn't do much here because didn't get any opportunity. Or you can say they were not paying so well, and I am a marketing man, I worry about money. Okay, so anybody who pays me more, I will do work for them. Okay, so that would be the region, and you know the eastern part of India was not paying very well, to the consultants and things like that. So that could be one reason why I never worked here. But the rest of it, western part, northern part, southern part, I have worked a lot. So except east, everywhere else, and varied industries, chemical, pharmaceutical, ये सूटकेस बनाने वाला कंपनी, मालूम है जो सूटकेस बनाता है, Aristocrat, have you heard Aristocrat? I worked for them. I worked for them. So ऐसा कंपनी से लेकर के क्रॉकरी कप्स बनाने वाला जयपुर में, जयपुर has got a big industrial estate that only makes the crockery which is made of bone china, what we call bone china. So those are made in Jaipur. So I'm just giving example to paper packaging. You know the material, the cardboards, they are made in factory from papers. So even that kind of company. I'm trying to give you example that I have not only worked for the big companies that were told you during the introduction, I have also worked for very small companies, very small companies. Smaller than yours. The paper packaging is smaller than yours. And you buy paper packaging for packaging your safety pins to transport, right? So these people, what they used to do, trial and error, applying just in time. So they will see that with chakka they need less for producing certain amount. So quality, this is performance quality. Understand now performance quality? So if you need less chakka, that means the performance quality is good or bad?
High.
It's high, it's good. So this one was having high performance quality. So its sale was going down. So what this company decided to change this sticker color from red to yellow. And those days intellectual property protection, IPR what we call, was not very strong in India. And also companies were not very much into the intellectual property protection. Now this is part of intellectual property. So these people moved from red to yellow. Now tell me, now what is the problem? The problem is that worker is more confused. सेठ जी, अब तो केवल पीला वाला चक्का मिलता है, पीली वाली घड़ी मिलती है, अब वो लाल वाली घड़ी नहीं मिलती. So लाल वाली, the red color, the competitor's brand was purchased only when some people wanted to save money. Okay, sometimes some people want to save money, and 1 rupee difference was a lot. So that fellow will go and say that the red one is no more in the market, both are yellow color. Understand? So this company intentionally did this so that these customers get confused and they just buy it. Brand element color is being used now. Color is a brand element. Do you understand now? Because those who cannot read or write, for them the color was very important brand element. Even for us, as I said, we are educated people. As I said, many times we pick up the bottle without reading because it has green color and green color tag. Correct? So this, to cut the story short, the next development was they still kept it like a clock, but now when the worker was going, worker will ask, सेठ जी, कौन सा घड़ी लाना है, 3 बजे वाला कि 6 बजे वाला? Now what is identification? 3 बजे या 6 बजे? Because both are yellow, right? 6 बजे वाला 1 रुपया महंगा है, 3 बजे वाला 1 रुपया सस्ता है. Is that clear? Everybody understands what I am saying? Rajeshwari ma'am, are you able to figure out what I am saying? Must be very challenging for you, but unfortunately this is how it was. I am just reproducing how the business was happening. Now what happened? This fellow became smarter. So this is what I am saying, competitive challenges in branding. Think about it, what kind of challenges you have if you do not protect your brand elements. it's not only about the brand name registration. You know where I'm going to? I'm going to the level where we are talking about very
Imitation.
serious issues.
Imitation.
Yes, and legality part of it. So this fellow, yellow color, and now he made his clock 6 o'clock. But you still need to differentiate. So he had those, you know, he still made it like clock. So it is like clock, but now it is 6 o'clock, and this is like compass without this. But both are 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, पीला कलर घड़ी, दोनों घड़ी छाप हो गए, and the only thing was घड़ी छाप. सेठ जी पागल हो गया, and the worker is also confused. Anyway, so I have to develop a different sales strategy for these guys, and that's why I was working for them to distinguish the product. And now things are different because now even workers can read, you know, it's not easy to fool them anymore. But this is just to tell you that in many industries these things do happen and people still get confused. Did you get the point in your mind?
So how you differentiate?
Oh, what did I do after that to differentiate? Wow, this is so curious, right? So what I did here, as I was telling,
Hello, in case
that-
can take.
we developed a sales strategy where the Grindwell Norton team, I said you work with both the owner of the shop and the user. They were focusing more on user because it is the user who was going and buying. I said no, money is being given by Seth, and Seth has little bit more ability to see the difference and understand. That's why he has created the business. So I said work with the owner and go and explain them clearly. Take both products. So his strategy was buy your competitor product as a sample, take your product, and then go and explain first to the sage and then to the workers. Many times sage will call the worker also after he is convinced. So it was the sales strategy, not the branding strategy. So sometimes you will, in your project you will see towards the end it talks about comprehensive marketing strategy for enhancing the brand equity. So other marketing functions support your brand equity. So that's what we did. So they will go with this and they will go with this, and then they will explain that both are yellow, both are 6 o'clock, but you see here, this is when they have something like this. ये जैसे आपकी घड़ी में सेठ जी के पास घड़ी होता था, वर्कर के पास नहीं होता. And the घड़ी was, which brand of watch was the #1 brand in the country 25-30 years ago? Dyson didn't exist. HMT. I think it's closed down now. Hindustan Machine Tools, a public sector company. Hindustan Machine Tools, public sector company, based in southern India. I've forgotten whether it was Karnataka or it was Tamil Nadu, but it was in southern India. The factory was based, it was public sector, Hindustan Machine Tools, HMT. That was the best watch. दादा खरीदेगा, पड़पोता वापरेगा. What is the meaning? What I just said? It's a Marwadi style of talking. They will say दादा खरीदेगा. Advertisement was दादा खरीदेगा, पड़पोता वापरेगा. वापरेगा means use it. You will use. खरीदेगा means will buy. So if grandfather will buy and his great grandson means his son's son, he will use, his son will use, son will use, and son will use. Great grandson. That was the concept with the HMT watches. And they were really very sturdy and strong watches. So when my father bought the watch, he bought the watch with a view that when he will retire, he will give that to me. Unfortunately, before he could do it, I changed my father's watch so many times. You know, so he said, this is bad. I wanted to transfer it. This watches were generational gifts, you know, like how you get jewelry. So it was like the next generation you used to get it. Until then you will not have the watch. Unless you are huh?
HMT belonged to Bangalore.
Bangalore, right? That's why I said it was Karnataka or Tamil Nadu, I don't remember. It was Bangalore, yes. So that's where they had the factory. I think it's almost closed now. Nobody buys there. Titan killed it. Titan killed that. So this one now, they went and they explained कि आपका जो घड़ी है ये वैसा दिखता है, ये वाला नहीं लेने का है, आपको लेना है जो क्लीन हो यहाँ. Understand that? So this is the sales strategy that I developed, and then these people went there. These days we call it communication strategy, integrated marketing communication strategy, IMC for brand building. Okay? This is a new terminology for what I was doing in a simple way. Because in small scale industry, you go and tell them integrated marketing concept, do you think they will understand? You have to speak their language and explain them to work in their language, right?
So that's why time consuming.
Even if the sales.
But that's how the industrial sales was. They were anyway going there and talking to the user, which had no meaning. Because the decision maker is salesy, payer is salesy. So you are anyway going there. You talk about time consumption now. Industrial sale is time consuming. That is why they have more sales force. In many organizations, the larger staff is sales people. In manufacturing sector. Understand? So you have no choice. It's not branding that you advertise and you can do it. But again, look at the amount. For advertising, you spend a lot of money to build the brand, to make that clear to customer. In sales, you pay salary. But depending, you know, in India, there are different kind of salaries. MBAs start, some MBAs start their job at 5,000 rupees a month. And the worker in the factory gets more than that. So that's a bad part of, unfortunate part, underemployment and unemployment, but it exists. So don't worry about that, it has happened, and it happens all over the world. We have to have sales force in industrial marketing, no replacement. Yes, sorry, there was somebody else saying something.
Even as hastily when we go, we'll buy the alternative one.
Alternative one. So now you got the answer to that, right? This is how I did it.
So,
Yes.
so when this was happening, why didn't the original company change their color?
You mean the Grindwell Norton? Because in the consumer's mind across the country, the yellow color was already established as a color.
Registered.
And at that point of time, changing that color across the country would have meant that they will think that the
Identity.
original product has vanished from the market.
Identity would be distorted.
Yeah, no, they will think that the product itself has gone. And then they may say, okay, अब वो तो मिलता नहीं है, हरा वाला है, उसको छोड़ो, ये जो लाल वाला था उसी को यूज करो. You know, that could have happened. So this is why they never did that. Companies were not changing at that time color because color was the strongest way to identify your product.
Prominent factor.
Most key factor, because education level in India was very low at that.
Even
Right?
now we are
Got the
synchronizing.
answer? Yeah.
Even now we are synchronizing with colors.
Yeah, even now, I told you, the water itself, for example, many of us even now in our subconscious mind, we only remember the colors. We identify with colors. Is this clear? All fun? Okay, excellent. So, now, let's move to the criteria. What criteria we should use for choosing the brand? Whatever brand you are choosing. So first criteria is memorability. Can customer easily recognize it? Right? There are certain brands people can't even pronounce
Yes.
correctly even today. Very simple.
Yes.
Anybody has got
It is personal calculation.
so-called Hyundai car? Huh? Hyundai. He is the only one who has said correctly. You laugh, but he is the only one who said it correctly. So, Hyundai. It's not Hyundai, it's not Hyundai, it's not Hyundai, okay? But in this country so that's what I'm saying. People cannot, not in this country, worldwide, nobody can pronounce this name correctly. So first time, except in Korea, South Korea, it is from South Korea. So first time when Hyundai decided to make it international brand, the first market that they entered was Singapore. Because Singapore was a rich country in Asia, closer for transportation, so transportation cost was low, and because Singapore government has a regulation that you can keep your car only for 5 years. I mean, you can keep for more, but the re-registration, your car is registered for 5 years, re-registration is very expensive. That way they discourage people, so they sell the car after 5 years and they buy a new car, and the sold car then is purchased by some vendors who will transport it to Africa and many other countries where they are like new cars, they refurbish it, they buy here very cheap and they make good margin and sell in other countries. So when Hyundai entered Singapore, they thought that many people have similar, you know, these East Asian countries like Japanese, Japan, Korea, China, they do not have the same language, but it's similar. It's like your Hindi and my Hindi. So, you know, it's like that. Or your Bengali I can understand quite a bit. I may not be able to speak, right? But I can understand. And I think it's the same thing. Many Bengalis may not be able to understand Hindi properly, but they can understand Hindi, right? So it's something like that. So they thought that they will be able to pronounce it correctly. After 1 year, they realized that they are trying to build a brand, but nobody is able to recognize their car. Nobody can pronounce it. And not only that, the worst part is that people were having difficulty in identifying this H versus this H. You know, the Hyundai H is slanted, right? And Honda H is straight. So people were not able to distinguish it. So Singapore, those days it was television advertising time. They spent huge amount of money and their advertisement was simple. This car, they will bring the car, talk about all the features, and then they will bring a Singaporean actor in that, and they will say, what is this? So he will say, Hyundai. Then that other person will come, smart Singaporean Chinese will come and say, no, it is Hyundai. So the other fellow will say, as in Sunday? And then he will say, yes. And then at the end it writes and says, Hyundai as in Sunday. So how you call Sunday? It's called Hyundai. How do you know it's Sunday? Very good, excellent. So Hyundai as in Sunday is the correct pronunciation. So this is the first criteria. Easily recognizable and easily recall. If I cannot recognize, how will I recall? So can I easily, now if you see both H are very distinguishable. Earlier they were not. Honda has also changed its writing of H. It is little like this, and Hyundai had changed the style of that slanted H, right? So it is distinguishable now. So recall, these are two criteria on which we, so at the moment you are, and remember, these are criteria for any element. So we have to think about both two sub-criteria under memorability. Second is what we call meaningful. So if the brand name is descriptive in nature, that's what we were saying, it describes. So if the name itself can describe, and I'll give you some examples later what it means by description. So far, very simple thing is WhatsApp. What's up? That's what we normally ask. What's up? When we chat, the first thing is in Hindi. See, in Hindi, when we say "Kya chal raha hai?" Hello, bhai, kya chal raha hai? Right? That's what we say. In English, we say what's up. So it's WhatsApp, but mostly we say what's up. Correct? So see, it describes what the brand is about. Chinese are far ahead of us. They created another brand called WeChat, and they kept it like this: W capital and C capital. WeChat. It tells what it is, right? WeChat. Facebook. It's a book and you have your faces and your friends' faces. Correct? Facebook. So these are called descriptive. So some brands are descriptive in nature and they are not just descriptive, they are also persuasive. They persuade. WeChat. Let's WeChat. Facebook. It persuades you to put your face on the book, electronic book. Agree? So, now one thing I must tell you, it's not necessary that every brand will meet all the criteria and all sub-criteria. But this is an ideal setup I am telling you. Each brand manager, these are the weaknesses. Now your project work also starts. The project that you have decided, your group has taken Infosys, I think, correct? You people have taken? Tata Sons. And
Bharti.
what's that?
Bharti.
Airtel or Bharti?
Bharti.
It's called Bharti Airtel?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So now you have to start looking at their elements. What are their elements? And evaluate those elements on each of these criteria. Then you will know where is the weakness. What is the problem? How this branding can be improved. That's what you have to suggest. So you will find what is not there. Because no brand is perfect. No brand will have all the criteria. The third criteria is likability. Likability means it should be fun and interesting name. It should be rich. It should be using rich visuals, or it can use rich visuals and verbal imagery. So when you think about WhatsApp, it gives you something. You think about Facebook, it creates imagery. Right? You remember Myntra? You know Myntra's M logo? It's very colorful, right? Very interesting, very fun. To the extent that few years ago, some women find it obscene. Are you aware of that controversy?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So there was no intention of company. This is something we have to think about it. Company did not have any intention to insult women or make their logo as obscene. But people today, they are beyond your control. They misunderstood, misread, and won the case in the court. That's why company has to change it, right? So, fun and interesting, rich visual. It was a very rich visual, and it creates imagery in people's mind. For some positive, for that woman it was a different imagery that she got. Understand? Same picture, people have different imagery. After that, actually, if you see on social media, people have shown that if you go like this, even McDonald's M can be seen like that. McDonald's also has M. So if you try to turn it around and see it, you will see the same thing. Even same way you will see the same thing. But nobody in America has thought it that way. So that means the mind of that person who found it, I think that mind itself is thinking in the wrong way or the negative. And then we talk about aesthetically pleasing. The logo, the symbol, whatever you do, when people see it should be pleasing, aesthetically pleasing. Fourth criteria, there are 6 criteria. on which you have to evaluate. Yes.
The third point,
Yeah.
likability, it
Yeah.
depends upon the perspective of the targeted customer.
Target audience.
So how do we understand before it comes into play?
Correct.
The brand concept.
Very good. So, you are right. As I said, branding is always relevant to the target audience. Non-target audience, we don't care.
No.
Now, therefore, who decides my target audience? I decide, right? This is a strategic decision that I want to target to this segment or this segment. So, we conduct market research. So, we create these brand elements, and then we use various methods to test and see the reactions of the real target audience. Face-to-face interviews, group discussions, surveys, and based on the analysis of that, then we decide on many of these criteria.
Even B2B businesses also does this?
So that's the point. The B2B businesses have only recently started focusing on branding part. As I told you earlier, in past, B2B was predominantly only by the sales force. So when salesperson goes somewhere, they can explain everything.
Personal connect.
Personal selling. So there was not a much issue. Post-COVID, the problem is that the face-to-face interactions are reduced. And this is the reason why now this has become more important for me. So in B2B also now, there are specific agencies that do this job for them. And it's more complicated, but it's important. So the criteria is same, methodology is same, but the usage is more complicated.
So what is the meaning of the word persuasive?
Persuasive means something in your language motivating, something that can pursue you. आपको खरीदने के लिए अंदर से इच्छा जाहिर करना,
Attractive.
समझ गए? वो है कि आपको अंदर से ऐसा कन्विंस हो, नॉट जस्ट कन्विंसिंग इज ओके, बट एक्शन के लिए आप तैयार हो जाओ. करेक्ट? डिड आई आंसर योर क्वेश्चन? ओके. So then we talk about the next concept, that is called transferability. What is the meaning of transferability? Within and across product categories, we spend a lot of money in building the brand. A lot of money is spent in building the brand. Can same brand be extended either across product categories or within the product category? So for example, Lux. Long ago, Lux was only soap like cake, right? Lux, beauty soap from Hindustan Liver Limited, now HUL. It's a worldwide available product. So strong brand, very strong brand for its segment. Now, can I extend it to a different product category? That's what we say across, means different product category. So, let's say Unilever decides to make biscuits. So, from Lux soap, can we call Lux biscuit? Can the Lux brand be transferred to the biscuits category? No. People will not accept to eat soap, because the strong association of Lux is with the soap. Personal care product, correct? But same time within the product category. So soap belongs to personal care product category, right? Within personal care means a lot of things. Within personal care, there is another element that we have to worry about, that is called toiletries. Okay. Now there are many ways in which the market is segmented. One is looking it as toiletries, Another is about facial and body care. So personal care has three components: hair care, facial care, and the body care. You understand how specialized it is becoming now? In good old days, there used to be only one soap for the whole family and for everything, hair to toe. Correct? Now, do you have one cleaning product for your body? In family itself, do you have one for your family? No. Every person in the family will have a different product. Again, for face they will have a different, for hair they will have something else, that's called shampoo and conditioner, and then oil in India, serum is another thing, you know all these things, right? And then there is a hair tonic. So these are all part of hair care. For face you have,
Face wash.
no, first you have cleanser, right? So face cleanser, then you have face wash, then you apply toner, face toner.
Face scrub.
Face scrub is prior to those,
Pre-processing.
right? But after face wash is also applied, that process is done, then you apply toner to tone your skin, and then you put the facial cream. So there are 5 or 6 steps of managing your facial skin. How many steps you use? No.
Water.
Only water. But I'm telling you that a lot of people, like my wife, uses 6-step process to clean her face. 6-step process. Nonsense, useless. I tell her, you already look beautiful, you don't need to spend more money on it. She says, don't be miser. This is my skin, my face. At least I can spend money for that. I said, okay. So 6-step process for cleaning your face. Here also there is a 4-step process. There may be more for some people, but at least I am telling you my experience. And then you have body care. Now Lux as a brand can be extended to this is one broad product line. Perhaps yes. But can it be done for all of these products? Do people accept for all of them? It has been found that mostly people accept Lux as a shampoo, not as a conditioner, and as a body wash, the liquid soap, and the cake. But people don't accept Lux as a facial cream, facial toner, serum for your head, as a conditioner, they don't accept. So this is what we mean by transferability. We try to build a brand, and I will talk about brand extension as a concept where I will revisit this importance of transferability. The second criteria within this is across geographical boundaries and cultures. Suppose you use tiger as a logo for your brand. Logo is an element and you use tiger. And you sell that product in Thailand. You will be in the prison. Because the tiger as a symbol in Thailand can only be used by the royal family. That's it. And therefore it's an insult to the king and you cannot use it. So there are legal considerations that you have to worry about. So now you have the problem here for transferring across. There used to be a very, very famous shoe brand in US. Very famous shoe brand in US. It's no more because of this problem. Because of this problem, it doesn't exist now. The second criteria of transferability, it was called, sorry, what do you call it? How do you read it? Phoenix. Sure? Phonics, okay. Anyone else?
Phoenix. Phoenix.
Phoenix,
Phoenix.
Phoenix. How do you say that? Remove, then it will be clear.
Phoenix.
Phoenix, okay, Phoenix. Anyone else? This was okay in America, calling as Phoenix. What do people have said? There is a city in America, in Arizona state, that's also called Phoenix. The brand was something like that. It was American brand, Phoenix. No problem, no misunderstanding, no wrong meaning. Correct? When it went to South America and other countries, in different countries, people pronounce it differently. So some call it phonics. Some call it phonics. Not rote, I'm just telling you their pronunciation. Hyundai is still struggling. So what Hyundai has done, Hyundai has accepted. Hyundai says whichever country, whatever way they pronounce, sell it with that brand. So in India they started calling Hyundai. You know that, right? So in India they call it Hyundai. In Malaysia they call it Hyundai, not Hyundai, Hyundai. In Latin America they call it Hyundai. So they have accepted the way it is. Correct? So this is your decision, brand manager's decision, how you want to deal with it. But this is a very serious issue. The next is adaptability. Adaptability means two dimensions, flexibility and updatability. Flexibility means does the brand have flexibility for changes? So you might have seen Mahindra and Mahindra. Mahindra and Mahindra earlier used to be written like this, M and M. You remember? This is how it used to be written, with this M and M. And then they wanted, when Anand Mahindra took over, he decided that he's very educated and sensible person, you know, one of the good business person that I respect in this country. So this Anand Mahindra, they said he found that our brand is treated as old brand, very old. That generation when the Jeep, you know, they were having a collaboration with the Jeep. They don't make Jeep anymore. Jeep is a different brand. Jeep is a different brand of automobile. But earlier they used to manufacture in collaboration with Jeep, and therefore people still call their type of vehicle as a Jeep, right? So he wanted to remove all those old perceptions because the Jeep was a rugged vehicle, especially needed at that point of time during the World War to go on those different kinds of roads, etc. for fighting war. So you will see in the beginning, Jeeps were also purchased by our army. Jeeps were supplied to our defense services because that was a rugged, strong vehicle. AC, nothing was required, open because you know those were rough and tough guys. And Jeep was also given to police officers. You remember that? Correct? Who were protecting the leaders or public or whatever it is. And if you were Bahubali, you know the concept of Bahubali, you will have a Jeep, right? So Jeep was a reflection of that, and Mahindra wanted to, not Jeep, actually M&M vehicle was considered, was called Jeep despite of not being written as Jeep, and that was the image. So Anand Mahindra wanted to change. This is we call adaptable. It was very easy for him to do this. And at that time, I was consultant to Anand Mahindra. I used to be at IIT Bombay those times. So this was part of our project that we were discussing. So he said he wants something modern, but at the same time, he does not want to lose the legacy. The brand has been built so strong in consumers' mind for ruggedness. You know, on any roads, this vehicle will go anywhere it can be repaired, and it is a long life. Two vehicles, Ambassador as a car and this as a adventure vehicle, you can call it. These two brands were considered to be the strongest brands of automobile in this country, right? People used to say, if Ambassador hits a Tata truck, the Tata truck will have dent, nothing will happen to Ambassador, which is not true. My own family members died in one such accident. My maternal uncle was DM, District Magistrate of Mathura. So my Nani ji and Mausaji and Mausi, three of them were traveling in that IS used to get Ambassador car, and an oil tanker, thinking that the DM is sitting there, the oil tanker owned by a Thekera, Bahubali, he wanted to kill the district magistrate, so he intentionally hit the car from two sides, killing everybody in the car. But my Mamaji was not sitting there, the DM was not sitting there. DM's mother, sister, and her husband, three people died along with the driver. So what I'm saying that these are the image and perception. So finally, have you noticed how Mahindra is written? It's only an M written in certain style. I think it is written something like this. In a certain style, M is written. So first of all, it has been shortened. It is still M, M and M, one M and M is removed, one M is left. The M is written in a modern font, correct? And now people call it Mahindra's vehicle. You have heard that? And now what they are selling? They have different names of cars. Now people don't call them Jeep. They call them Pajero and what the other? Scorpio, Thar, right? So this is how Mahindra and Mahindra were able to transfer the legacy to create new branding. And as you may know, they are even coming up with the electric vehicles, and Mahindra is doing very well in automobile amongst the Indian automobile companies. So this is important dimension, flexibility and ability to update. So this brand was flexible and could also be updated. You see this example? I am giving you Indian examples because it's easy for you to understand. Of course, I can't teach the same in New York University, those examples because they don't know. Then the last one, which I said earlier, protective. Can your element be protected legally and competitively? This is a very serious issue, and two brands have had international legal dispute in the United Nations has an international code where these disputes go. There have been many, but two are very famous disputes. One is McDonald's. And another brand is Cadbury. Do you guys know Cadbury?
Yes.
What is the color of Cadbury chocolate packaging? And when you open it and the chocolate has another silky smooth wrapper, what is the color? Purple. Violet and purple. Again go and check, the violet or purple, whatever. This was the color, and Cadbury chocolate was identified with this color for so many decades. They registered Cadbury as a brand name, but they did not register, protect the color of the packaging or the color of that inside packaging and outside packaging. The result was a lot of chocolate manufacturers, what did they do? They copied. You might have seen a lot of imitated fake chocolates came with similar kind of color packaging. And in Singapore, a very good chocolate company making nice chocolate with a different brand name. Brand name was not Cadbury. It has nothing to do with Cadbury. No C, no none of these letters. But it called milk chocolate, not dairy milk chocolate. Milk chocolate. Okay? And everything was that violet color, you said, purple color. Everything was in purple. So Singaporeans many times, because who eats chocolate? Kids, right? Kids cannot distinguish too much. And many times the parents give money, they go downstairs in their apartment, and just outside the apartment block there is a shop. Uncle, give me this Cadbury chocolate. But uncle is not giving Cadbury chocolate. Uncle is giving purple color chocolate back. And the kid is eating. So then they realize that in their name somebody else is making money. So they went to the court and they lost the case. Why they lost the case? Because the other company had registered the package color. And the Cadbury did not legally register it. So competition took that over from them. So they lost the case, a lot of money was spent. Then finally they went to that company and they said, "Sir, let's settle out of the court. Tell me how much money you want. But stop making, or if you make, do not use this purple color. You cancel your registration for this. We want to register worldwide and we'll give you whatever money you want." So out of court settlement happened for undisclosed amount. You know the meaning of undisclosed amount? Undisclosed amount settlement in businesses means that publicly they do not want to reveal how much money they have taken. Usually this is a condition put by the buyer because they don't want to feel insulted that for their mistake they have to pay this much to somebody else. Did you get my point? So this is a huge damage that happened. These are the, and this is not old, this is a recent thing that I am talking about. Now Cadbury has registered the purple color packaging and outside and inside worldwide. Every country including in India, they have, because registration cost is very little as compared to what your competition can make money. Those examples, if you remember there, what was the problem? The problem was registration. And legally you can't do anything, neither you registered the color, now you registered your this symbol. But the problem was you registered this symbol, but you did not register with the clock because you did not expect competition to do that. Today, therefore, you know what people do? People try to register all possible domain names. All possible domain names in the world, they will register and they will only use, because registration does not mean you have to use. You only keep paying fees and renewal, which is lot cheaper, very cheap. And you use only one, but nobody else can use. Otherwise, in past, suppose a brand is, a website is dsms.edu.in. Okay? You registered this as a URL. Is this your URL? Your university, what I said? Oh, something else. So it is www.dsms.india.org. So suppose you have registered, but you did not register www.bharat.edu.in. So somebody can come and do that. Now, for a student audience, many of them will identify your good institution only as DSMS. And when they go to Google to put DSMS, and two sites will come, DSMS.in, DSMS India, DSMS Bharat. As a student, what will I understand? I may not have a clear understanding and I may think both are same. Correct? Understand what I am saying? This is the problem. So now if I am your consultant, I will tell your management that these possibilities can be troublemaker. So these are the URLs, these are the Instagram handles, these are the Facebook pages, these are the Telegram handles, these are the LinkedIn usernames. Register now and here. Spend that money because DSMS, a good institution today, may become an excellent institution 10 years, 20 years down the line. Then you will have nothing left if somebody has copied like that. So protectability legally and competitively, sorry, what did I say? Competitively, this is the sixth criteria to check, can I register? Can I do it? And you pay to the lawyer to get that done. So for example, I have my company, I also run my business, I'm a businessman. See, I'm a professor, I work for industry, and I'm also a businessman, I run my company. This company is called GAUR. Okay? DRTC LLC. Now, this is just the short form I am telling because for the website and for email ID etc. you need little smaller thing. So that is GAUR BRTC, GAUR BRTC. The full name of the company is GAUR Business Research and Training Consultants. LLC means Limited Liability Corporation. Like you say incorporated, private limited in America, this is called LLC, Limited Liability Corporation. So this is my company registered in America. There is a brand name I have registered. There is a logo I have registered. There is a symbol I have registered. And the domains I have registered. So all that I have done so that tomorrow no other GAUR or non-GAUR can make this company. Understand? So this is extremely important part for all of us. What I teach, I also preach. I walk my talk. What I preach, I teach and walk my talk. So this is the sixth criteria and the brand elements that we talked about. What happened? Not moving? Oh, I don't see it here. No. The technology expert is not here. Oh, can you see something? Okay, yes. So the last slide, and then you have T, and then Professor Datta is here to tell you more. He is already here. So the last slide is about the elements that are important that you have to worry about. URL, name we already talked about. Okay. URL in today's time is very important. Do not forget about it. It's extremely important. Why? Because in the very first class I told you, you are digital native. Where do you live? In the digital world. What is this time? Digital era. So where will you search for this? Any brand, where will you search? Google. Correct? So if your URL doesn't exist, what will happen? You will not receive. Logo. Why logo? Visual. Many things people identify by looking at pictures. So logo, symbol, again not necessary to have everything, but as many as you can. Characters. Some brands are also only known by characters. And then as I explained you remember I explained you about the legal considerations for branding. Protectability part. Not only that, The second part, that it will not be misunderstood, transferability, that is also legal consideration. What if you put the tiger and without knowing you start marketing in Thailand? Right? So that's part of your legal considerations. So registration and the fact that what you are going to do in a country or a region will not have the legal problem. Okay? So now if I create a logo like Mintra's M logo, I will think several times and get it perceived by several women. Ask them a specific question. Do you see anything obscene here? Why I am doing this? To ensure the legal part. There are lawyers who are expert in this field. Give it to them, they will see and tell you whether there is any potential legal case that can happen against you. Is that clear? So this is where we will end. These are the elements. There will be a class where we will discuss more about each of these elements and creation of these elements. So creating a brand, we have started talking about creating a brand. Creating a brand requires creating these, considering those criteria. Any questions, comments, feedback? Any doubts? Any doubt?
Is there any way, like, suppose two companies have almost similar names? So, like, one company is, say, Affordable Construction, and the company is Affordable Construction Company.
Yes.
So, it will always create a confusion.
Yes.
Anything that can be done?
Yes, definitely. So as I said, in some countries, looking at exactly what you have said, in some countries the law prevents you from doing this. So like if there is already a company called Affordable Construction Company, you cannot register as Affordable Construction. Or Affordable Construction exists, you are not allowed to register your company as Affordable Construction Company because registration is done by the government. So they have a database. Earlier we didn't have database. So a lot of problems, maybe I have registered in Kolkata and somebody registers the same thing in Jaisalmer, right? And the two systems, because they are written in registers, cannot match. By the time they send the letter and then the letter from here, that was a huge process. You bribe here, that fellow will never reveal it. You bribe there, they will not reveal. But today with internet system, digital database, it's immediately checked. So that's why when you register your lawyer, your attorney, for example, when I did, I have to check that this name is not registered anywhere in the world. So my attorney was able to check it worldwide database that this name is not registered anywhere. It does, even closure to this is not there. There are Gaur construction company, there is a Gaur, in Delhi there is a big Gaur real estate company. If you go from Delhi to Gurgaon, on left, I'm telling wrong, Ghaziabad to Noida, on left hand side, you will see huge complexes and written on the top with big Gaur, GAUR. But that's all about construction and real estate. Nothing to do with business research, training and consulting. That is my opinion. So this is what is not allowed now. But suppose it has happened in past or whatever. You can go to the court saying that whosoever has come before, whosoever has registered before can go to the court and can put the case that it has been done to take advantage of me. Usually in court it's not easy to win. So what people do is out of court settlement. And out of court settlement means one purchases the other in terms of the brand. So the second person either changes the brand name or sells the business and it starts doing another business. So there are many such cases in India that I know have happened in the past. But these are the only two ways. If you continue with two names, you can continue as long as the law doesn't prevent you. You can continue. But if you continue doing that, then it's loss for some and gain for some. For example, if you go to Haridwar, there is a Chotiwala group of restaurants. Chotiwala group of restaurants. Chotiwala was a Brahmin who started food, vegetarian food, in Rishikesh for the people who were coming for pilgrimage. And these were all vegetarian people. So this was done more than 100 years ago. And he will charge very little money and make very simple, nice, healthy vegetarian food. So he became very famous. But later on when he became so famous, now if you go to Rishikesh, there are so many Chotiwala. Chotiwala hotels or restaurants. Somebody will say Chotiwala hotel, somebody will say Chotiwala restaurant, somebody will say Chotiwala food,
Somebody will say
original Chotiwala,
new Chotiwala.
new Chotiwala, real Chotiwala. So the problem is because this was not registered by the Chotiwala. And Chotiwala's grandson was my batchmate at BITS Village. We both did the engineering together. Even I didn't have any understanding that time. So it was only recently that all these things have come up. So last year when I was in Delhi, he said, I need your help to protect my grandfather's business. Actually, his great-great-grandfather's business. And now his father is managing it. So he said, I want your help. So we'll see what we can do. But this is one example I'm saying, that it exists. And all of them are selling. There are so many tourists, religious tourists who go to Rishikesh. They go to Haridwar and also Rishikesh. And Ram Jhula and all those things, Ganga Aarti they do. So they have to eat food. And they all want to eat vegetarian food, you know. In pilgrimage, people eat vegetarian food. So all of them are vegetarian restaurants and they all are Chotiwala. So you do have this problem happening everywhere. But in Lucknow, there was a Tunde's kebab. Do you know kebabs?
Yes.
And if you have been to Lucknow, it is very famous for Tunde's kebab. So before people can copy Tunde's kebabs, because earlier even people did not understand the importance of branding. When they started understanding the importance of branding, that people are coming to Lucknow and especially looking for Tunde's kebab, they registered. So now Tunde's kebab is, that's younger generation is managing now, and they have created a chain, but they have registered all possibilities of Tunde's kebab. So now you cannot have Tunde's kebab or even Tunda's kebab. They have even registered Tunda's kebab, but that Tunda they don't use. But suppose you want to start, because Tunde exists, you try to register Tunda's kebab, you can't register because they already own it. So people are getting smarter. They are understanding the value of brand, because brand brings the consumers. Brand is about trust. Brand is about the value. Did I answer your question?
Sir, Amul's Halal Haram certification also played serious issue with respect to them when they go for Islamic countries.
Yeah.
Because of that, they didn't
Yeah.
show that.
So that's the added part of it, which we will talk in one of the classes when we talk about co-branding and many other types of brand extensions. We'll talk about this issue. If you want to sell, because the Islamic market is becoming one of the largest market in the world, and therefore just simply because of the population, Islamic population is growing at a very faster rate around the world,
Dietary law, according to them,
and they have the halal practices, and therefore halal certification adds value to your brand. So that's another concept that she's talking about. There is nothing, so for milk products, all milk dairy products are halal. When I say dairy means the milk related products, they are halal. But the word halal certification is something that is important for identification, especially amongst the non or less educated Islamic population around
that
the world.
ruined the Amul's brand totally in their places. They restricted, they resisted to not to go for Amul because,
I know.
and in terms of flexibility, sir, Coca-Cola, sugarcane base and corn syrup.
Yeah.
With respect to US, they went with corn syrup base, and with respect to
Asia.
UK, they go with cane base.
Cane sugar here in Malaysia, it's a palm sugar that they use. Yeah. So So that's a flexibility in product composition. We are talking about flexibility in brand elements.
No, that endorsing that brand, that's what I'm trying to
Oh,
say.
endorsement.
Ah.
So that's a brand endorsement concept. Yeah. Anyone else?
Actually, tea is waiting for a long time.
Yes. So no questions? Then please have your tea and Mr. Datta, over to you.